In 1998, on New Year's Day, they started the Daystar television network. They picked the name Daystar from a Bible verse, 2 Peter 1:19, which says, "We have a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place, until the day dawn and the Daystar arise in your hearts." At first, Daystar had pastors who paid to be on the network, including Kenneth Copeland. Marcus was part of the lineup too, but Joni wanted her own show. She created a women's show called Taking a Break with Joni, which later became Just Joni. In the beginning, hardly anyone came to watch, so the staff sometimes had to pretend to be the audience. But things didn't stay small for long. By 2003, Daystar moved into a huge 90,000 square foot building with 17 fancy studios and the ability to use special effects. Around the same time, a pastor named Joel Osteen, who had only been preaching for 4 years, wanted to be on TV. He had a church in Houston, Texas, called Lakewood Church, and he launched his show on Daystar. Big names like Jesse Duplantis, Joyce Meyer, and the popular Hillsong Church soon joined the network. Daystar kept growing and getting bigger every year. He also hosted a show called the Celebration Creature Feature.
And we've got Chris here from the Fort Worth Zoo.
There you go.
Chris, it is so great to have you.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Oh my.
Oh my goodness.
This is Kristen. Kristen is bringing.
Hi.
This is
Kristen,
Betty.
you're not scared of Betty?
Hi, Betty. Yes, very interesting.
And she is a Burmese python. You have nothing to worry about. She's not going to
Lord,
hurt you.
I think it likes
Did
Joni.
you feed her? Did you feed her before she came today?
You know what? She only gets fed on Tuesdays, so
Wait,
you
do
have nothing to worry
pythons
about.
like to eat lambs?
What's
They
that?
don't eat lambs, do they?
Not this size. When she is full grown, she'll eat a lot larger
Look,
food.
she's coming over here to me.
Honey, you know what? There's a scripture in the Bible that says that if you take up serpents,
Yes.
they'll not harm you.
Right now, she is about 11 feet long. We can kind of stretch her
Yeah.
down this way a little bit. If you can grab
Okay,
this
and
end down
how
here. There we
much
go.
does she weigh, Chris?
She weighs about 45 pounds right now.
And how big will she get?
When she's full grown, she'll be about 20 feet long
Oh,
and will
my
weigh well
Lord.
over 200
She's
pounds.
beautiful, isn't she?
20 feet long.
Oh yeah, she still has a lot of
She's
growing
just
to
a
do.
baby.
Oh, she's about 8 years old right now.
Oh, really?
My
Okay.
goodness. So will she ever have any
Oh, her
babies?
texture
or?
is just...
Not likely. She's housed by herself.
Oh, she
And-
is?
yes.
Okay.
Well, let's get her a boyfriend.
Get her
I
a
mean, a
boyfriend?
husband. Wait, this is Christian television. Get her a husband.
It was a fun and exciting program where viewers could enjoy various segments, often focusing on different animals and creatures. The show combined entertainment with education, introducing audiences to the world of wildlife in an engaging way.
I had been there for quite a while before I had earned any sort of trust to do some of the more secretive things that they did. And so, for example, the marketing department was behind closed doors. You had to have a key to get into it. It was locked. And I never understood that. You know, why is it behind locked doors? Until one day, Jeanette came to me and said, "I'm entrusting you with photoshopping the latest Lamb family photo shoot." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she said, "Well, we have a very carefully crafted image of the family. And so the photos have to be retouched in a very specific way." So behind a locked door, with her standing over my shoulder, she supervised me as I photoshopped these images to make Joni look thinner, to make them all look younger, to whiten their teeth, to slim their waistlines, you know, all these things. And I just remember thinking how silly it was, because the person in this image was 25, 30 years younger than them in real life. It was so silly. And I felt like I worked for the Secret Service or something. Like, I was not allowed to talk about the fact that I photoshopped those images. Jeanette threatened me, "If you ever tell anyone this is what we do, you know, you'll be terminated." It was a big deal.
The story about Marcus and Joni Lamb's media manipulation reveals the extreme lengths they went to maintain a perfect public image. Behind the scenes, they controlled how their family was portrayed, with photoshopped images making them appear younger, thinner, and flawless. This kind of image management isn't new in the media world, but the secrecy and control exercised within their ministry raised serious questions about authenticity, ethics, and the price of maintaining a polished persona at all costs. The locked doors, the secrecy, and the threats of termination for employees who spoke out are concerning. The employee tasked with photoshopping their family photos felt like they were involved in a covert operation with constant surveillance and the pressure to keep quiet. The lambs weren't just creating a polished image. They were protecting a carefully crafted version of themselves that was far from reality. It wasn't just about managing their appearance. It was about controlling the narrative at all costs. This focus on outward appearance is problematic, especially for religious leaders. The Bible teaches that man looks at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. 1 Samuel 16:7. The lamb's focus on presenting an idealized, perfect image goes against this biblical teaching. It shows how the pursuit of external perfection can overshadow the deeper values of humility, authenticity, and inner beauty that should guide spiritual leaders. By focusing on their looks instead of their true selves, they created a disconnect between what they preached and how they lived. One of the most concerning aspects of this situation is the secrecy surrounding the photo manipulation. The fact that employees were under strict orders to keep quiet and were threatened with termination if they ever revealed the truth shows how deeply the lambs were invested in maintaining a perfect public image. It speaks to a culture of control and fear where the truth was hidden and employees were forced into silence to protect the illusion. The lambs weren't just managing their image. They were actively concealing it, creating a narrative that wasn't grounded in reality. The manipulation of their image raises broader questions about the role of public figures and the expectations placed on them. In today's world, social media, celebrity culture, and the constant comparison to others fuel the pressure to present an idealized version of oneself. The desire to fit in, be admired, and maintain a perfect image is stronger than ever. However, when public figures, especially religious leaders, focus too much on appearances, it creates an unhealthy disconnect with their audience. Followers look to these leaders for guidance, truth, and authenticity, but when the leaders themselves are preoccupied with maintaining a perfect image, it can undermine their credibility and trust. In this context, the story of the lambs highlights the dangers of placing too much emphasis on outward perfection. The Bible encourages authenticity and integrity. Leaders are called to be humble, transparent, and honest. The pressure to maintain a flawless image, while understandable in a media-driven world, can easily lead to a loss of credibility when the truth comes to light. The disconnect between the lamb's message of authenticity and their actions of image manipulation reveals a fundamental problem. Their focus on outward appearances came at the expense of the authenticity and transparency that their ministry was supposed to embody. The story also serves as a reminder of the importance of authenticity in leadership, especially in the religious context. The best leaders inspire trust and respect not because they are perfect, but because they are genuine. They acknowledge their flaws, live with humility, and connect with others on a real human level. In contrast, leaders who invest too much in cultivating a perfect image risk alienating those they serve. When people discover that their leaders are more concerned with maintaining an illusion than embracing their true selves, it can lead to disappointment, distrust, and disillusionment. This situation also highlights the dangers of a culture that prioritizes image over substance. Social media and modern media are full of curated images, airbrushed photos, and the pressure to present an idealized version of oneself. While it may seem harmless, this culture can create unrealistic expectations and encourage people to focus on appearance rather than authenticity. In the case of the lambs, the desire to appear perfect overshadowed the deeper values of humility, truth, and honesty that should have been central to their ministry.